think has made the best hire so far?
I actually like all three hires, but I think the best hire has been Bill O'Brien in Houston. I think first of all, he walks into the best situation. Clearly, the quarterback issue can be addressed with the #1 overall pick that they now own, thanks to that 2-14. I think the Texans wanted to get tougher. I think they wanted to get a bit of an edge and a bit of an attitude. And I think Bill O'Brien is a very tough-minded, kind of a no-nonsense coach. And coming after the 2 years in Penn State, this might feel like a relative breeze because that was a very unique challenge. I think the Texans are going to look back and realize that they got their guy and they were glad they moved early.
What kind of quarterback do you think Bill O'Brien will go searching for if indeed Case Keenum, which we believe will not be the answer moving forward? Yes.
I mean, I think his background is more of a classic pocket passer, but it probably won't be limited to just that. In today's NFL, you've got different types. But I look at Teddy Bridgewater, and I think it's a natural fit for Houston, and I think he's a leader in the clubhouse, and I'd be shocked if that really changes dramatically. Johnny Manziel could be in the discussion. I don't think Bill O'Brien would be scared of him, but I think at this point it probably would be the slightly more traditional passer.
You gotta love College Station, just an hour and a half outside of Houston. You know, those fans from A&M would love to see Johnny Football playing in Houston. We asked you on Twitter, who's the best NFL hiring so far? Here's what you had to say. Don't know, but the worst non-firing is Bengals' Marvin Lewis. Don, what do you think about that? Marvin Lewis obviously just finished his 11th season, 0 playoff wins in his era. Did he deserve to keep his job?
Well, he's the first coach to ever lose his first 5 playoff games. Mike Brown, the Bengals owner, is a very patient man, but it does look like they're kind of settling for mediocrity. They like winning a division and getting to the playoffs 3 straight years, 5 times in Marvin's 11 seasons. But to never take that next step, there's not many places that would really tolerate that for long. And it doesn't even sound like there's any real pressure on him in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he could end up losing, though, his defensive coordinator potentially, but we'll talk about that a little later.
And he's already lost his offensive coordinator. That's our next tweet. Who do you think has been the best NFL coaching hire? Jonathan says Jay Gruden, quarterback coach for RG3, hashtag SI now. Thanks for writing in. So what do you think about this marriage between Jay Gruden and RG3? I like Jay Gruden. I covered him actually in the summer of '92 when he was playing arena football for the Tampa Bay Storm. I was at the St. Pete Times. I was a Bucs beat writer. I got to know him. He is the kinder, gentler Gruden brother. He doesn't have that hard edge, that acerbic wit, or that crustiness as John. I think he's a good football man. He's a smart guy. I think he's a pretty good play caller. Clearly, he did not get Andy Dalton to the level that they hoped. Andy fell in his face the other day against San Diego in the playoffs. And Gruden, you would think, reputation would have taken a hit. But I think it was a pretty good hire for what Washington had to offer a team. Here's my problem. Who's picking the players? If he doesn't have final say, is it really Bruce Allen and a team in the personnel department? That's usually a recipe for not a very strong personnel outfit.
How much do you put into the fact that Bruce Allen was in Oakland with John Gruden when Al Davis was still alive, and he was one of those owners that was kind of, depends how you look at it, meddling in some ways, or he was just very involved in other ways, and you kind of have something similar replicated here in Washington. Could that help Jay Gruden in any way?
I don't think it would help him, no. I think it's not a blueprint you want to follow. Obviously, Bruce Allen was with John Gruden in Tampa as well. Bruce's forte has always been on the business side, former agent, salary cap guy. It's not been on personnel, so he better lean very hard on the top personnel people. But I think it's a tricky spot for Jay Gruden. Whoever they would have gotten, let's be honest, Washington is hiring their 8th head coach in Snyder's 15 years. It's a very difficult spot. I just think they got a guy who's pretty even-keeled, pretty smart, and will figure out as much as the Redskins let him.
Do you think Daniel Snyder will ever change, even if it's for the good of the organization, to take a step back, maybe not, as Andrew Brandt, our sports business analyst, has said before, agents used to believe that Washington was a place where you could circumvent the GM and go straight to the owner and go for more money?
Of course you could, and he jacked up the market for a lot of free agents. Look, Daniel Snyder says he has changed, and he said that repeatedly. I'm dubious. I think he is pretty much, remaking the mistakes he's made in the past. I think he's better in some ways. I think he's matured 40% as an owner and understands everything can't be right now.
but he's constantly involved in spots that sometimes turn out to be destructive for his own team's chances to win.
Final question on this Washington Redskins situation. Keeping the defensive coordinator, you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, I'm surprised at that. I think Jim Haslett hasn't really done the job that I thought he was going to do there. And the fact that they're keeping status quo, they have some talent on defense. I guess they have the decision on whether to keep Brian Orakpo. He's a free agent. But I would have swept the house clean and started over.
All right, let's go back to your tweets. That's what we were in the midst of, asking you, who do you believe made the best NFL hire? Final response from you, easy. Lovie Smith to the Bucs, perfect fit. Bucs D already shows promise. Put Lovie at the helm and watch them soar. You're shaking your head, yes.
No, I like Lovie, and I covered him briefly in Tampa Bay when he first got there on Tony Dungy's staff. Good man, drama-free, which is definitely what Tampa Bay needed after the Schiano error. And I think I like Tedford as an offensive coordinator. I like Leslie Frazier, a defensive coordinator. My problem there is, again, they're giving Lovie personnel power, it sounds like. It sounds like it's going to be a GM light type of situation because they're still shopping for a GM. That concerns me. I don't think Lovie's strong suit is personnel, and I think he needs a strong GM there picking the players. So, like the coach, not sure the format is going to work to the best in Tampa Bay.